How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome to 3 more SSF-friendly League starters for Echoes of the Atlas. This is going to be 3 builds that I have played and have messed around with already, that have been tried and tested. One of which I didn't fully finish, but the other 2 I do have gameplay for, and these are going to be old builds that I have tried and played in the previous leagues, so I can vouch for the fact that they are good, cleared a decent amount of content, and have been updated and tweaked for modern renditions. Of course, we're going to get, patch notes and changes to everything and all that sort of stuff. So, as I say with all of my League Start videos, these are not, final, end-all, be-all sorts of things, and you should never look at build guides like that. Take any of these builds that I'm going to show you and use them in your own way. Find something, find an interaction in a certain build, or find something that interests you, that looks cool, that sounds cool, and find a way to make it your own, because you're going to be playing your character. You're not going to be playing my character, right? So as a result, the stuff that I get and the things that I do with it are going to be a lot different to what you get and what you do with said tools. So, my recommendation is always use League Start videos as sort of an ideas piece and see how you can tweak the concept to your own liking if anything that you see interests you. So, with that being said, let me tell you what the 3 builds we are going to be looking at today are. To start us off, we're going to be looking at my Blade Vortex Chieftain. This is one of my favorite characters I have ever played. It winds up turning into a walking simulator once you get very geared and very well set up, but it is a very, very fun character that gives you a couple of pieces to strive towards and a few things to work on and build. And then I have my Scourge Arrow Pathfinder. This is a character that I had a lot of fun with, cleared some of the highest content that I've ever actually done. And was able to speed clear pretty reliably. I also turned it into a Poison Kinetic Blast character to get a second build guide out of it. Very, very easily. I tweaked like 2 or 3 nodes and put a poison damage wand on it and used Kinetic Blast, and the amount of poison that I did, it was so easy for speed clearing. It was actually incredible for getting currency and farming and all that sort of stuff. It was great. I'm not going to show you the Kinetic Blast version. That is on the channel if you are interested in that idea. But this character will double into 2 if you want to switch it into something, or you find yourself getting bored of characters, then that will be a good choice for you. And lastly, we're going to have my Vortex Occultist. I didn't get to fully test this character because when I was playing it, I kind of got bored of Path of Exile as a whole. But when I was leveling with it, it was extremely effective and it shit on pretty much everything. Basically, you flame dash into packs, you pop Vortex, everything explodes, you flame dash to the next one, you Vortex the next one, and everything just kind of dies, which is going to be very, very good for Ritual League. Also, I stack a bunch of AoE on it, so you get a very big sort of nut puddle, was what I was calling it when I was leveling the character. That'll just, like, consume the screen, basically. So, yeah, that is going to be the characters, and let's start us off with the Blade Vortex Chieftain. This is the exact import of the character that I was using way back when, and the character is extremely simple, really. We go for life wherever we can get it. We get endurance charges, and just life pretty much wherever. Dexterity, we're going to need a little bit of stats. We're going to get unwavering stance, so we can't be stunned. Then we get a bit more stats, life, and we're going to get a little bit of elemental damage here if you can find it later on. We got the character to 92 when I was playing it, so if I were to go any higher, I would have just gotten extra LE damage through Divine Judgment. We get life, AoE, Holy Dominion for resistances, and we get LE Overload and Avatar of Fire, so we can convert half of our damage to fire damage, and then we use Chieftain to convert the other half through Nagamu's Flame Advance, which will make our Blade Vortex 100% fire damage. And then from there we get life, AoE, life, fire damage. You can tweak this for more fire damage however you want. You can take out some life, you can go for more life, you can tweak whatever way you really want to. I had bit of life here, like you can tweak and mix and match. You can go this way, you can go this way. Doesn't really make a big difference. Let me show you a little bit of gameplay of this character really quickly. Alright, let me pop this fella on here and show you some gameplay of the character. The build is on the channel if you are interested in that. Basically, it's a walking sim. You put up your Blade Vortex, you run in a straight line, and everything in front of you will die. Do note, I have very low stacks of Blade Vortex when I'm doing this. You were not able to really maintain high stacks before. You can nowadays through things like what is it? Not Spell Echo. What's it called? The other Spell Echo, Unleash. Via Unleash, you can get very high numbers of Blade Vortex very, very easily and cast them all at the same time pretty much instantly. So, as a result, I would recommend using Unleash and some of the new, more modern technologies on this character. But yeah, so that is our skill tree. Ascendancy-wise, these are the 3 points you really need. From here, you can go wherever you want. Nagamu's Flame Advance first. You'll get Nagamu's Flame Advance and Avatar Fire around the same time. My recommendation for leveling is to rush to Avatar Fire. You can actually rush like through this way and then come up and get it and then take the points out once you do the rest of the tree if you want to do that way while you're leveling. But my recommendation is get those two at about the same time. It'll be a nice damage bonus. Then Hinakora's Death Fury for fire damage and life leech. Our fire damage leech does life, which is going to give us a shit ton of leech. And then we get a chance to cover unique enemies in Ash, which is very, very nice. Bonus damage. And then Ramako's Sunlight is damage penetrates fire resistance. Very good for bosses. It is a bossing league. Fire damage over time and the chance to ignite. And then from here, you can go wherever you want. You can go Cleansing Water if you want survivability, or Fire Res. You want to like build that way. You can go Endurance Charges. You can go bonus damage here. Use like a Wave of Conviction totem or something. And drop that on the boss, and then they'll take bonus damage from being near the totem. The Wave of Conviction will lower their fire resistance, and you'll do extra damage that way. You can do a couple different things in regards to the Ascendancy from there. I covered the skill tree, so let's pop into let's do the items first. Doriani's Catalyst should be very easily achievable in solo self-found. You can manage this very easily. I've done it multiple leagues, so I believe in you. Shields-wise, you can use pretty much any big shield you come across. You can use a spell damage shield if you want, like an energy shield one. I just went for armor and survivability. I don't like dying very often because I was pushing for a high level on this character, so dying was not really up my alley. So I went for a big armor shield with good block chance. Hrimnor's Resolve is going to give you fire damage and can't be chilled if you've used the fire skill recently. Now, if I remember correctly, do we use Flame Dash on this? I don't remember. I think I might have. I don't know, we use Shield Charge. So that doesn't really go off all that often because it doesn't count your Blade Vortex as like as a fire skill. But you can use like Flame Dash if you really want, like Freeze Immune. There's a couple different things you can do with that. Self-cast Wave of Conviction if you want to get the Freeze Immune, that sort of stuff. Or just get it on a flask, that's what I normally do. Carcass Jack, I had this drop for me. You're probably not going to get one of these. If you do, use it. Otherwise, go for a life on kill percent chest piece. If you can get an Elder chest piece with percent life on kill, the game's a fucking joke. Just straight up. An Astral Plate, percent life on kill, game's over. You will never die. You can do pretty much anything you want, provided you have enough damage for it. Yeah, you're never going to fall over. Dodri's Tenure for the increased spell damage. The cast speed doesn't matter if you're using Unleash or Spell Echo, because you'll just instantly shit out the Blade Vortexes, and you'll be more than fine. Yeah, for the boots, I have movement speed boots with life, good res. Get as high movement speed as you can. If you're able to get Onslaught boots or whatever have you, go for it. And then a very insane necklace that I got. This is probably not going to be achievable in SSF, but this is one of the best pieces I've ever made. This is a strength necklace with spell damage, fire damage, gain fizz as extra fire. This is God roll. By far, arguably mirror tier for this build specifically. Yeah, you're probably not going to get this, but any combination of this, anything close to this, spell damage, fire damage, combo piece, if you can get that, you're in a very, very good spot. Elder, let me get the Fizz's extra fire, but you're probably not going to get that. Then we have two resistance rings. This just is problem solving pieces, right? Resistances, life. This is resistances and life as well. So those could have been so much better. Those rings were pretty bad, but I went mostly damage on these for the fire damage increase, as you can see there. So solve problems with rings, and then we go for damage, and the rest of this is just damage. Wise Oak, get your fire res max so you can get bonus fire stuff. I remember correctly, damage penetrates resistance of each element, with uncap being the highest. Yeah, so you can get fire pen if you cap this correctly. I didn't, but still, so I had to do a little bit of gear mix and matching. But yeah, skills wise, we are running Warlord's Mark. You can run. This was for me trying to be like extra tanky and just not die. This was Blasphemy Warlord's Mark. You can also run. What is it? LA Weakness will be really good for fire damage reduction. There might be vulnerability, maybe physical stuff. I don't think so. But I think LA Weakness or Flammability would be the best options for Blasphemy here. So make use of that is my recommendation. Blood Rage with Summon Stone Golem. This is going to mitigate Blood Rage so you can have infinite frenzy charges while killing things and just go faster during your walking sim. Vol Haste is for bosses. Just tap it and you're good to go. Shield Charge, Fortify, faster attacks. If you use a energy shield, I don't think you can shield charge. I don't remember correctly. You might not be able to. But yeah, this was our movement skill. You can use Leap Slam if you want. Actually, we're using a one-handed mace, so yeah, you can use Leap Slam. And then Vol, Blade Vortex, we only had a 5-link at the time. So I was switching out one of these for Spell Echo. You can utilize a 5-link, 6-link, whatever you want. Unleash, Spell Echo, put that in the last slot, or if you want just raw damage, you can go for like more cast speed stuff and then raw damage in that slot. And Phase Run for mobility, Vol Righteous Fire for just turning on Vol RF when you're on a boss, it'll burn everything. And then Anger from the necklace. I don't think I ever actually used that. So that is my Blade Vortex Chieftain. So let's move on to my... I have to find the character. I believe this is... Nope, not that one. It might be that one. It might be. I should have fucking organized these beforehand, but nope. Where are you? Where are you? Should be in one of these, right? Pathfinder, there we are. Wait, no, it's a Caustic Arrow. God, it's a hard knock life. There's so many builds. I need to organize this one of these days. I really should. Did I know why? Well, I had found this earlier. I had genuinely found it. All right, fine. I'll look for my other one. Where's my Vortex Occultist? And it's really fucking difficult, man. Really is. You think I would have this like planned out, but there it is. There's the Vortex Occultist. All right, I'll show you this one, and then we will have ourselves a look for the finished Caustic Arrow Pathfinder. This character is very simple to play and very effective. As I said before, all you have to do with this character is port into a pack, press Vortex, and everything dies very quickly. So what we end up doing is exactly that, really. Just Flame Dash, Vortex, Flame Dash, Vortex, Flame Dash, Vortex. And everything around you will just fall over. We utilize as much spell damage as we can get in the tree. Spell damage, Ellie Overload, we get Cold Multiplier over here. We get ES wherever we can. Pretty decent ES. You can add more if you want. It is, of course, gear-based. Playing a very simple setup for SSF stuff. Cold damage, energy shield, spell damage everywhere you can. Ones are going to be cold damage over time, spell damage, any combination. If you want to use, fossils to get anything spicier, feel free. The rest of the tree, LA Overload for damage. Zealot's Oath is going to give you a bit of life regeneration. ES, AoE. AoE here, a little bit more ES. Mana as extra energy shield. Mana situation's fine. You can go mind over matter if you want for extra AoE. That is an option. Damage over time here. Damage over time here. Chaos inoculation for immunity to chaos damage. ES here. And that's pretty much it, really. I think I was going for the increased elemental damage here, but you can get the jewel slot or wherever else you feel like going. In the Ascendancy, we go for Malediction for an additional curse for bonus damage. Hexproof to get AoE explosions, which is always nice. Vile Bastion for regenerate energy shield per second for each enemy you've killed, and regenerates extra energy shield per second. Plus, it cannot be stunned while you have energy shield. This is required because otherwise you get stunned over and over and over and over again from having 1 HP, because it scales off like your HP for some reason. If you have lower HP than the mob and they whack you, then you're gonna get like perma stunned if you don't have any stun reduction from ES. least I think, anyways. And then we have Void Beacon for nearby enemies have cold resistance, minus 20% cold resist. And they're doing some changes to Occultist in the upcoming expansion, and everything still looks to mostly be intact. You may have to do a little bit of tweaking, and we're probably going to get a lot of buffs to this build, if I'm being entirely honest with you, looking at everything that I saw. So, for the rest of the build, we're using Vortex with a bunch of modifiers for, what is it? A bunch of modifiers for just spell damage in general and ailments stuff. Yes, control destruction is fine because we are proccing our Ellie Overload from Frost Bomb most times. Because Vortex is all like mainly damage over time, but it does have like a little hit component, so it can proc your Ellie Overload. We have a very small crit chance, but it's there nonetheless. So that will proc our Ellie Overload, but we can also proc it off Frost Bomb if you want to go that route, or you can do it Orbital Storms if you want. You can do something like that as well if you want to do something along those lines. And then we have a Blasphemy, double curses, Frostbite, Ellie Weakness, because like I said, we are going to be porting into packs and then blasting them. So as a result, we want to port in, get everything cursed, and then just blast it at once. So this is going to be a nice damage bonus for us. Vol RF, you can turn this on for more spell damage when you're on bosses, to just pop it and slam your Vortex on top of people, and they'll just fall over. Stone Golem, this is just passive life, and since we take the one node over here, it converts it to energy shield regen rather than life regen. Flame Dash, Arcane Surge, faster casting, this is for mobility because we're dashing into packs, like I said. And then these, if you have Enlightens, you can turn these on for bonus damage. And then this is going to be a single target setup that you can use if you want to get the maximum damage out of this. Essentially, you can drop your Blasphemy curses. You can instead use Frost Bomb to do your curses for Ellie Weakness and Frostbite with a Hex Touch, right? So it'll make it so Frost Bomb will apply all the curses. Then you can not Blasphemy these and save mana, and use the mana in turn for Zealotry and Malevolence for damage over time and more spell damage. That requires a little bit of finagling, and your AoE is your consistent AoE is going to get lower because you'll have to Frost Bomb every pack if you want to retain the same amount of damage. But for the bossing single target focused sort of league, this will be a very, very good option for you if you want to take that route. That would be my recommendation. And then we have two setups. We have a Steel Skin and a Cast When Damage Taken Steel Skin. If you have the space, you can use both of these like this as a sort of oh shit button, essentially. Otherwise, you can just set up the Cast When Damage Taken and it'll do its own thing. Or you just press it yourself and you will be good for the most part. Like I said, very simple character, very simple to set up and gear character, very effective as well. Dash, Vortex, dash, Vortex, dash, Vortex. Very good for mapping, and gets a lot better the more AoE that you can scale into. You can get some very stupid AoE mods from like Elder stuff and Shaper stuff and all that sort of stuff. I don't really know how to go about scaling into screen-wide AoE like some people do. I don't know how to do that, but other people do, and it creates very stupid scenarios. But yeah, if you know how to do anything like that, go wild, I suppose. Let me see if I can import the direct character from my Scourge Arrow Pathfinder and save us some time, shall we? Because it's somewhere in here. I know I've got like this fella, right? Yeah, I got this one, but it should be somewhere else. I'm trying to remember. No, not there. Not there. Let me just take a quick look through these. It should be somewhere in here, but I don't know. It's somewhere here, but it's just not popping out for me, you know. It won't be in there. It's just not popping, you know. Not the KB, because I had like 500k DPS on the character when I was done with it. Oh well. Oh well. All right. Let me import my character, and I shall show you. Import the final build. All right. Should have everything loaded in here. Is everything turned on? Not really. Put it that way, but oh well. All right, we'll just roll with it then. So you're gonna get more damage. I don't feel like going through and turning all this shit on, But simple enough, character is very, very effective and destroyed pretty much all content that I threw at it. So this is going to be the exact character that I literally just imported. And this is me doing, I don't know what tier of map this is, but everything up to, I think I got this character like tier 15, tier 16 before I decided to reroll and do something different. Legion's going to be a good showcase of this, actually. You'll see that all of the arrows like ricochet a bunch of poison projectiles out of them, and it spawns way too much stupid stuff. So as a result, I think I actually get like one shot here, knowing my luck, because I spawned too much. Yeah, I just about get one shot. And yeah, you can see pretty much what the character can do. Can kill anything, can kill stuff from like 2-3 screens away with zero issue whatsoever. It was a lot of fun. It requires a little bit of practice and getting used to, because you do have to stand still. So it gets a little bit finicky at certain times, because, you know, you don't want to stand still all that often. But it is a very, very good speed farmer rather than bosser. This character had a little bit of struggle when it came to bosses, I'll be honest with you. But if you're looking for good like ritual builds, just to do the ritual events and farm that sort of stuff very, very easily. Like I said, you can switch this to Kinetic Blast if you want to do that as well, and it's exceptionally good for speed farming. Same thing with just the Scourge Arrow rendition altogether. So, skill tree wise, we get ourselves Master Toxicist for losing virulence slower, because I was trying to use my Herald of Agony at the same time, which will also give you a nice bit of bonus damage. That also gives us damage converted. Damage is extra chaos, physical converted to chaos. Poisons you inflict during any flask effect have 40% chance to deal 100% more damage. We're gonna combine that with a Delve Bow, which I didn't get the chance to build because it took forever to roll, but 60% chance for poisons inflicted with this weapon to deal 100% more damage. Now, I never got to figure out if that counts as like 100% chance, or if it's two separate chances for 200%. You know what I mean? If you can like double proc it for a 200% poison. Things are pretty spicy at that point. So, this weapon is going to be very difficult to build. I'd recommend just spamming poison fossils over and over and over again until you can craft something kind of spicy. You're looking for that mod, and then damage with poison, and 40% chaos over time multi, if possible, wherever you can get it. That's a craftable mod, the chaos over time multi, and you just want attack speed and chaos damage. Otherwise, no physical damage, nothing like that, just chaos and poison scalars. Then we get chaos damage, and chaos skills have increased AoE. Doesn't really matter, but what matters is when you kill a poisoned enemy during any flask effect. We're a Pathfinder, so we're getting flasks back all the time. You will poison every single enemy near the initial target killed, which creates a chain reaction that blasts everything. This is why it's so good at speed farming, because the explosion goes like 2-3 screens away, right, from the arrow, as you saw, and then it will poison things on 3, 4, 5 screens away, depending, just based off Nature's Reprisal. It's extremely stupid. Then we get Nature's Boon for flask resets all the time. So, skill tree wise, we're going to get pretty much poison damage and maximum life wherever we can. I went squishy because I decided to go for very speed farmy. If you want more life, get more life. Simple enough. But yeah, we just get chaos damage, life, chaos damage, life, life, damage and stats. And then, you know, life, damage, socket for whatever you want to use it for, life, damage, socket with poison damage and max life. That's what I'd recommend putting in every slot that you can get. Damage, life. And then we get acrobatics for reduced chance to be hit. Phase acrobatics for chance to dodge spells as well. We're also using a phasing flask, so we get like hella dodge chance. You could also go for arrow dancing if you want, for more like evade from projectiles. That wasn't too bad when I was messing around with it, but I didn't find... I don't think it turned out to be that much better. It was kind of weird. I think I unslotted arrow dancing and died less. I think it was just a placebo effect, but still. So yeah. Skills-wise, we are using a Scourge Arrow with Mirage Archer. This will be firing off another arrow that's charging, so you can actually like shoot one run a little bit, and then it will fire off a second arrow as you're running. So this gives you a little bit of extra like speed clear potential. With the new Mirage Archer stuff that's coming to, was it Deadeye, I think? That could be kind of fun, but I don't know how good Scourge Arrow Deadeye would look to be. But you could maybe mix around with that sort of stuff and see what you can come up with. Although they probably wouldn't be moving Mirage Archers in that sort of case, so maybe it wouldn't work, maybe it would. I don't know. If you try something like that, do let me know. Unbound Ailments for ailment damage. Infused Channeling gives you bonus damage and survivability while channeling. Added Chaos because we want as much flat chaos as possible. Herald of Agony in the chest piece, I think, with damage bonuses and that sort of stuff. This is just for an extra little companion fellow for damage. You can drop this completely if you want to go a different route and get just as much flat damage on Scourge Arrow as possible. I'm pretty sure I did that for the KB character, was I just dropped Herald of Agony and went flat damage everywhere I could. You'd use like Malevolence, what's the other stuff? Any damage over time, auras, you could do that route instead, while keeping Herald of Agony on at a 25% for the more poison damage. And then we use Despair Blasphemy. I actually ended up, when I was playing the character, what did I end up getting? Despair on hit gloves, if I remember correctly. So it was turbo stupid. You can see it from when I play the character with hitting things in here, that I am despairing things, right? So this character has Despair on hit gloves, which are stupid good. But yeah, if you can manage to corrupt a pair of those, use them. I think I had Despair on hit the poison gloves, the added chaos damage gloves. I think it was something crazy on this character. And then Blood Rage with some Stone Golem cast when, so you can run Blood Rage passively with no real issue. This will give you Frenzy charges, so you can be faster, attack faster, charge faster, that sort of stuff. And Plague Bearer is going to be how you kill bosses primarily, because this will stack up like 100,000, I think that is, plague damage, or is that 1,000,000? So it's a big number. I can't be fucked right now. And then this will make it so when you press your Plague Bearer button, it will shit out all the stored damage around you and just kill pretty much everything. So save this for end of map bosses. You'll charge it while going through stuff, and you just tap it and it'll kill everything around you pretty much. You can give it AoE. I think there's a couple other mods you can give it. I don't remember entirely, but I think you can stack some other stuff on top of Plague Bearer. But this is exceptional for just killing a map boss, because otherwise Scourge Arrow's mapping or bossing time is a little bit on the iffy side. But yeah, that is going to pretty much be the character. I leave the rest of it pretty open. Witchfire Brew, if you can manage it. Corlitos, if you can manage it. I've managed to actually drop all of these on this character, if I remember correctly. Well, not all of them. I had a Witchfire. I thought I had a Witchfire. Maybe not. I think I did drop one at one point when I was playing this character, or when I was playing it as KB. I think I got a Witchfire Brew. Might have been on a different character. I don't remember. All these leagues start to blend together after you play for long enough. But yeah, all of these are max life with poison in the socket slots, if you can manage to come across any combination of that, or damage with ailments, or that sort of stuff. Yeah. Alright, that is going to bring us to the end of this video. Went a little bit longer than I would have liked. I wanted to try and keep this down to about 20 minutes or so. The whole not being able to find the build didn't help matters, but yeah. Alright, thank you guys very much for listening. If any of these builds gave you any ideas, or, you know, got that spark going or anything like that, or if you plan to play any of them, do let me know, and do let me know how they work out for you. I have tried and tested all of them, and they worked pretty well for me, but I want to see how some of these work in other people's hands, because of course, I think about things in a specific way, other people don't, I've found. So translating what I'm trying to do to certain people gets very iffy sometimes, but let me know how the builds work for you if you do decide to play one. It's going to be all from me, and as always, take care, gentlemen. I shall see you next time.